Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Qala ta'ala, Walladhi jala samsa diya'an wal qamara nura faqaddarahu manazila lita'lamu adada sinina wal hisab. This is in Surah Yunus chapter 10 and verse 5, which means that Walladhi jala samsa diya'an wal qamara nura, He who made the sun as shining things and the moon as a light. فَقَدَّرَهُ مَنَازِلَ لِتَعْلَمُوا عَدَدَ السِّنِينَ وَالْحِسَابِ, and measure each out of stage, and it makes the time, the number of the year. And it says also in Surah Al-Rahman, verse 5, it says that the sun and the moon, Samsu wal Kamaru bihusban. The sun and the moon run on its fixed course, exactly calculated. Brothers and sisters in Islam, the sun determines the time of prayer. The sun movement determines also the time to start and stop eating during fasting day. Also, the moon determines the month of Lunar, the month of Ramadan. It says, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ لِدُلُوكِ الشَّمْسِ إِلَى غَسَقِ اللَّيْلِ, which means that perform prayer from a midday till the night. It says also, كُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ, which means that you eat and drink until the white thread distinct from a black thread. And Islam also, and Quran says that يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ, which means that they ask you, O Prophet Muhammad, the sign and the mark of Hajj. And also it says that فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ. It says that the one who see the moon and he is obliged to fasting during the month of Ramadan. Now, in Islam, only 29 of the month is the time of moon sighting. The question there is, why not on the 30 of the month of lunar month, or on the 29 of the month, or 28 I should say? Prophet Muhammad says that الشهر مرة 29 ومرة 30. We are not allowed to see the moon or watch the moon or on the day of moon sighting on the 28th, because surely that the moon will not be seen on the 28th of the month. And on the 30, surely that the month or the moon or the crescent will be sighted. That's why the moon sighting will be on the 29th, because as it was known or discovered from astronomical calculation that the moon revolves around the earth 29 days, 12 hours, 44 minutes and 3 seconds. That is exactly from new moon to new moon. That's why Prophet Muhammad says that الشهر 39 مرة و30 مرة. Now, if I will show you how it is, I will draw on the board. This is the earth. The moon is here and the sun is here, the sun rays. Now, when the sun rays strike the moon, it is half, and this is lighted and this is dark part of the moon. And also the earth, this is lighted by the sun rays, and it will be dark on the other side hemisphere of the moon, or I should say the earth, either east hemisphere or west hemisphere. It depends. Now, if the moon is on this side, this is new moon, and if the moon moves around the earth, which is 12 hours and 44 minutes and 3 seconds, from new moon to new moon. And this is full moon. It's lighted on the other side, and the other side is the dark. And this is half moon. and this is also half moon. Now, from new moon to new moon, as I said, it is 29 days, 12 hours, 44 minutes, and 3 seconds. Is from new moon to new moon. And we will wait after 9 hours, the moon will be apart from the sun rays at this way. Now, this is lighted one, and if you are here to watch the moon sighting, let us say we are here to watch the moon, but after a new moon or the conjunction, the crescent will be seen in this part. So wherever it is seen, so long as in the same night, we are obliged to follow. We are obliged to follow because it is the same day or the same night. Okay, but it's impossible that we here in the Asia will start, and here in America still day-night, they will also perform their obligation for fasting. Now, this is how this new moon, after new moon, the new crescent will come in after 9 hours. So let us say on June 27, that will be the 29th of Sha'ban. That's the new moon on June 27, and that's 29 of Sha'ban. Remember this 29. Every 29 we have Sha'ban. Then at 4:08 or in the Philippines, that would be the new moon. Exactly the conjunction of the new moon. And on the GMT time or Greenwich Mean Time, 8 this is PM, and this is 8 OM. It's 8 hours from Greenwich to Philippines, and then plus 9 hours so that the crescent may comes out and it will be seen in the Philippines. So that will be a midnight. So it means that it will not be seen in the Philippines. However, in the Arab countries, Saudi Arabia, because it's 5 hours difference, or after that, Egypt, it's 6 hours difference, or in Libya, 7 hours difference, or in Morocco or Jazair, 8 hours. So 8 hours difference is still a night is in the both sides of the hemispheres, she said. Now, it is not seen in the Philippines, but it will be seen in the other countries, so we have to follow. There was a conference in Egypt by all ulama. Conference resulted that wherever the moon is seen and the same night at the same time, so the other countries must follow. Now, during that day, on the 29th of Sha'ban, while you are sighting the moon, it does not mean that exactly the moon is above the sun, as others say or cited, because the sun and the moon moves not together, but it's in a different rotation and in a different revolution. Let us say on the west side, you will see the moon on the west side sunset. Even the moon is seen or sighted 5 minutes after sunset. That is counted as Ramadan. Because as I explained, it is the new moon that after this 8 separated, then it will be sighted here. And the result here and Earth, by watching this moon, this is the sun, this is the horizon, and this is the sun. It is setting, and the moon must be set before the sun. This is the moon. It is a crescent like that. And this is the sun. Now, it's not all the time that if we are sighting the moon, every 29 of the month is still here, is above the sun. But sometimes the sun is here and the moon is here. You see, it's about 60 degrees. From here is 30 degrees and from here is 30 degrees. But the sun is only up to 23 degrees on the north side and 20 degrees on the south hemisphere. Now, the moon moves between the north and the south, total of 62 or 64 degree, because it says to a 30 degree from this point up to this point. From this point to this is 30 degrees, and it's a total of 30 degrees. And sometimes the sun is here and the moon is here. And sometimes the sun is here and the moon is here. That's why it not goes together as it is now, because the moon rotates or revolves around the earth, while the earth rotates and it revolves around the sun. It is the earth who revolves around the sun, while the moon, it revolves around the earth. That's why it's different in sunset and in the sunrise, or in the moon setting and in sunset. In case you see the moon, it's below here. The moon set and the sun is here. It is not a Ramadan, because the situation is this: before new moon, because it is before new moon. The moon is here before it reaches on the conjunction. So it is not counted that if you see the moon before the sun, it's moon set and then the sun. It's different. Okay. And aside from this, there is also a question which says, "Faman shahida minkum ash-shahr falyasum," which means that the word there, "faman shahida," is not exactly the meaning. It's the one who cited. This shahida means the witnesses, or you are present at that time in your house or in your home. You are not on travel, so you have to fast. If you are on travel, that's unexempted. You will not have to fast. That's why the shahida means you are present at that moment. Another difference between the ummah is about the height of the moon. The height of the moon. Some says that no, the moon must be an altitude or about 8 degrees, or which says 36 hours. And if that's the case, it is very, very visible, the moon. But there in Sharia, it must be that after the new moon. Let us say, as it was mentioned in the verse that it says, "Yas'alunaka anil ahilla, qul hiya mawaqitu linnas wal hajj." The word there, ahilla, it means crescent, or sometimes they say, and it said mawaqit. Mawaqit is the boundary. Let us say this is the boundary. This is the boundary. Let us say this is Lanao Norte, and this is Lanao Sur. This is the boundary, mawaqit. Now, at the time you are in Lanao del Sur and you cross this bridge, you are even in the foot of the bridge, you are now considered as in Lanao del Norte. Which means that the moon, during new moon, when it is played from the other side, and you will see the other side, and it is Ramadan. That's how it is calculated. And then, in this sense that others say sumu liru'ya. The word liru'ya, they limited it to eyesight. But the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam never say a ru'ya bil ayn, which means that you will see it by your eyes. Sumul ru'ya bil ayn. Bil ayn means eye sighted. But the meaning of ru'ya, it means is a vision. Now sometimes a vision is through your calculation, sometimes through your imagination, sometimes it is in your information. And that is the Korea. The ayat says about the ru'ya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alam tara kaifa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. Alam tara. The word there tara means ru'ya, which means have you not seen the owner of the elephant when he comes to Medina to destroy the Kaaba? That is addressed to Prophet Muhammad. And how does the Muhammad Prophet show it? Because he's still not birth. Now, he's still not created. Now, and the ru'ya, it means that an information. Sometimes your own decision and calculation. They say that when Prophet Abraham dreamed that he is slaughtering or sacrificing his son Ismail, it says that inni ara fi manami fandur madza tara. And the word there tara means ru'ya. He addressed that to his son Ismail. Fandur madza tara, which means that say or look what would be your decision. Because I saw in my dream that I am slaughtering you. And what will be your decision? So therefore, the ru'ya there means a decision. But when Abraham said, Inni ara fi manami ara, that is the dream. I saw you in my dream. I saw in my dream. And then he asked Ismail, his son, Pandur madza tara. Look what will be your decision, or look what you can say about this dream. And then Ismail said, if alma tu'mar, satajiduni inshallah min as-sabirin. Yes, and do what is commanded to you by Allah. I am one of the sabirin. Okay, so the ru'ya mean here is not only an eyesight. It is a estimated and it is a calculated, as it was said in the first verse I mentioned, as Samsu wal Kamaru bi Husban. Remember that ayat in Surah Ar-Rahman. Even you see it in the Quran in Surah Ar-Rahman verse 5, as Samsu wal Kamaru bi Husban, which means the sun and the moon runs on their fixed courses, exactly calculated. It is Allah who says that the sun and the moon is moving and the heavenly bodies calculatedly, exactly. Now also, as I mentioned in the previous verses, that the sun is running to its courses in a calculated time. And there is another question about the matla, or the place where, or the horizon, the unity of the horizon. But most of the ulama, they said jumhur, means majority of the ulama in the world, even in Arab countries and Islamic countries, they follow if this moon was sighted in other places. That is what we call jumhur. We here in the Philippines, matla, but it's very few. No other places that apply this matla, except here in Pakistan and Bangladesh, because they want to see the moon any higher altitude I mean. It's higher after the sun set. You see? And that is why after 1.5 days, which means 36 hours, the sun set and the moon is there. And you will see the moon very visible because it is a high altitude. Now remember that matla is only applicable in a prayer time. Matla is not applicable in the sighting of the month of Ramadan. Remember that the moon sighting or sighting the moon is only an instrument to determine that Ramadan comes in or Ramadan ended. Ramadan begins and Ramadan ended, or the other months. Remember that I would like to emphasize it again, that the meaning of ru'ya is not limited to eyesight. It's not limited to eyesight. It's all about the senses. Now, the second thing is the matla. It's only applicable to a prayer time. So that's why you matla have to go with the jumhur. And also bear in mind that the verse I mentioned, Surah Al-Rahman, verse 5, Ash-Shamsu wal-Qamaru bi-husban. It is exactly calculated. So we have to apply calculation. Question, is the calculation bid'ah? That's the question, because some people question it. Calculation is not a bid'ah. It is only an instrument. If you say what is bid'ah, it means al-ihdas fi din. It's different from al-ihdas li din. Al-ihdas fi din is bid'ah because you added something in the religion or the practices of the religion. Which example, the 5 mawaqit salah, you make it 6. So meet a new. Why? The Ramadan, you said, the Ramadan must be on the solar system, must follow in the solar system. The time of the solar, or the movement of the sun. That's the Ramadan. Now, it's different from eating or fasting. I should say eating, stop eating and start eating during fasting day. Because we are talking about the Ramadan, the month, the lunar month. Now, during the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, every time that he start praying or prayer time, he will take a stick and put it in a stand, and the sand will strike the stick and it produce seed. And if the seed is moved to which side, it means that it is luhur. And if the stick is the same with the height of the length of the shadow, it means that it is asr time. Now, that is the Prophet tradition. But nowadays, we don't practice it. This practice of Prophet Muhammad, that every time he made a prayer, every day, every luhr and every asar, and every maghrib, he will say the white thread from the distinction from the black thread on the sunset or in the fajr. We are not doing it now because we depend on the watch. We depend on the watches. So this watches, says other, it's bid'ah. No, it is an instrument. Huwa wasila. This is an instrument or medium to know the time of prayer and the time to eat and the time to stop eating. While nowadays, it comes out from the sciences that it discovered, and it is exactly that the sun and the moon is calculated, especially the moon. So why not also to follow this astronomical calculation for the calendar of the Muslims? While on Ramadan, we have to go for moon sighting, and if it does not send, we have to follow the hadith of Prophet Muhammad. It says that La tasumu hatta tarawna al-hilal wa la tuftiru hatta tarawnahu fa in gumma alaykum faqduru. The word there, gumma, means it is covered by a clouds. Gumma. So it means that when it is covered by clouds, we have to calculate it. The Prophet said, faqduru. We have to calculate it. But the other hadith by Bukhari, and it is narrated by Abu Hurairah, it says that in gubiya alaykum. The word gubiya and gum is different. نقول عليكم فاكملوا عدة شعبان 30 يوم. So you say it's different. In Gubia means you don't have a knowledge of it. You don't know where this is it a new moon or run. But fakduru in Gumma alaikum fakduru, it applies only when the west side is very, very cloudy. So usually here in the Philippines, the west side is very, very cloudy and it is impossible for us to see the moon. So remember that this also an important thing, that the sighting must be on the 15 minutes on the time the sun is setting. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
بالحب تلقاك البدور ضيف الأماني والسرور فيك العطايا والأجور يا مرحبا يا مرحبا زين الشهور بالحب